So in this video, we're gonna make mother sauce, the Béchamel sauce, which basically consists of a roux, which is butter and flour, and we're gonna add some milk and cheese. So here we have 60 grams of butter, 50 grams of flour, 500 grams of milk, 100 grams of mozzarella, 50 grams of Parmesan, and some nutmeg and black pepper. A roux is basically a thickener. You can add this to any kind of stock or broth to thicken whatever liquid you like to thicken. So first we're gonna start with melting down the butter. So we get the butter going. We immediately add the flour. Be sure to mix vigorously. We want to combine the butter and the flour equally, but we don't want to burn it. As you can smell the stages of the cookedness of the flour. We basically want to get to a point where we're absolutely sure that the flour is cooked, because uncooked flour is not good for the body. It'll make you feel bloated. So now we add the milk, and then we're probably going to switch to whisk. And we want to make sure we get the milk and the butter completely combined together evenly. So we start whisking very vigorously, again to make sure that we don't burn or toast the milk. So as you progress, you're going to start seeing the liquid thicken. So that's the roux doing its job. So at this stage, we go back to the spatula because everything's mixed pretty consistently. And you want to constantly smell and gauge the cookedness of the flour. And this is how we tell if it's ready or not. Another thing to get used to visually, you want to check and see how the sauce separates on the pan when you scrape the spatula right through the middle of it. At this point, we add the cheese. Now this is when we know that the flour has cooked all that it can cook. We start incorporating it until it looks exactly the same as it were before you added the cheese. So here at this point, I've lowered the heat a little bit because we're not trying to cook the flour anymore. We're just simply trying to incorporate the cheese and melt the cheese. So it's fluid, soft, and smooth. Here we add the black pepper and the nutmeg. So the final mix through, we incorporate all of the ingredients until it's smooth, and we immediately put them into their storage containers. Now, what's important is when you store something like this, you have to cover it completely. So as we cool it, what you're gonna see next is we're gonna put plastic film over the top and punch some holes in it so that it can breathe. Now, if you don't do this, it's gonna create a skin on the top layer. And when you go to use it, you're gonna have a lumpy bechamel. So we let this cool down before it goes into the chiller. And after it's cool, we can put the cover on and it can go into the chiller for later use.